5 men abandoned a perfectly working car to walk into a freezing, pitch-black forest. Months later, one of them was found starved to death inside a cabin. Surrounded by enough food to last him an entire year, he never touched a single can. What terrified them so much that they chose freezing and starvation over staying in their own warm car? This is the chilling true story of the Yuba County Five. America's most impossible mystery. To understand how truly bizarre this disappearance is, you have to know who we are talking about. The locals in Yuba City, California, simply called them the boys: Ted Weiher, Jack Madriga, Bill Sterling, Jack Hoot, and Gary Mathias. They were 5 best friends, ranging in age from 24 to 32. 4 of them had mild intellectual disabilities, and Gary Mathias suffered from schizophrenia, which he kept under control with regular medication. Despite their challenges, they were all highly functioning. They had jobs, they were deeply loved by their families, and they were fiercely loyal to one another. But their biggest passion in life was basketball. They played on a local team, and on Saturday, February 25, 1978, they were supposed to play the most important game of their lives. It was a Special Olympics tournament, and the winning team would get a free trip to Los Angeles. The boys were so excited that some of them laid out their uniforms on their beds the night before. They would not have missed this game for anything in the world. To celebrate the upcoming tournament, on Friday night, the 5 friends piled into Jack Madriga's prized possession, a turquoise and white 1969 Mercury Montego. They drove 50 miles north to the town of Chico to watch a college basketball game. The game ended around 10 p.m. The boys stopped at a local market, bought some snacks, cherry pies, chocolate milk, and sodas, and got back into the car. The plan was incredibly simple: drive straight down the well-lit Highway 99 back to Yuba City, go to sleep, and wake up for their championship game. But they never went south. For reasons that defy all logic, the Mercury Montego did not go toward Yuba City. Instead, it turned east. It drove away from civilization, completely off route, and headed directly up a winding, treacherous dirt road into the Plumas National Forest. This was the middle of winter. A massive snowstorm was hitting the mountain. The temperature was dropping fast. None of the men liked the cold. None of them had any reason to go to this forest. And yet, they drove 70 miles into the freezing darkness. When the families woke up the next morning and realized the boys hadn't come home, panic set in. The police were called. A massive search began. 3 days later, a park ranger found Jack Madriga's Mercury Montego abandoned on a snowy mountain road. And the condition of the car is where this mystery turns into a nightmare. When police examined the car, they expected to find it broken down or completely trapped in the snow. It was neither. The car was in perfect working condition. It had a quarter tank of gas, the keys were missing, but the engine started perfectly when hot-wired. The tires were resting in some shallow snow, but 5 grown men could have easily pushed the car out. Even if they didn't want to push it, all they had to do was sit inside, turn the key, and turn on the heater to stay warm. Instead, they got out. They left the doors unlocked. And even more terrifying, they left their heavy winter coats inside the car. Wearing only light jackets and sneakers, the 5 men walked directly into a freezing blizzard, uphill, deeper into the forest. Why? What were they running from? Police soon discovered that someone else was on that mountain road that night. A 55-year-old man named Joseph Shons. Shons had gotten his car stuck in the snow earlier that evening. While trying to push it out, he suffered a mild heart attack. Trapped in his car and in agonizing pain, he waited for help. Around 11:30 p.m., Shons saw headlights. He watched the Mercury Montego pull up and park behind his car. He saw a group of men get out desperate. Shons began screaming for help. But the moment he yelled, the group stopped moving. They went dead silent. And then, the headlights of the Montego were instantly turned off. Shons claimed he saw shadows moving in the dark. He even said he thought he saw a woman and a baby, which completely baffled police. Hours later, in the middle of the night, Shons saw flashlight beams in the trees. He yelled out again. And once again, the flashlights were instantly turned off and the forest went completely silent. By morning, Shons managed to walk down the mountain and get help. But by the time police checked his story, the 5 men were gone. Months passed. The brutal winter made it impossible to search the deep woods. It wasn't until June of 1978, when the snow finally melted, that a group of bikers riding near a remote Forest Service campground made a gruesome discovery. It was a small Forest Service trailer, located 19 miles completely uphill from where the car was abandoned. Inside the trailer, they found the body of Ted Weiher. Ted was lying on a bed, wrapped tightly head to toe in 8 thick blankets. His feet were severely frostbitten. The autopsy revealed the horrifying truth. Ted had lived inside this trailer for up to 13 weeks before finally dying of starvation. He had lost half of his body weight, but here is the impossible paradox that haunts investigators to this day. The trailer was absolutely packed with food. There were shelves full of freeze-dried meals and military rations, enough food to feed all 5 men for an entire year. Dozens of cans had been opened with an Army-style P38 can opener, and the food was eaten. But Ted didn't eat it. Someone else had opened those cans, eaten the food, and simply left Ted there to starve. Even worse, there were matches, paperback books, and heavy winter clothing scattered all over the cabin. The trailer had a butane gas heater outside. All they had to do was turn a valve to get heat. But no fire was ever started, no heat was ever turned on. It was as if they were too terrified to make a sound, too terrified to start a fire, hiding in the freezing dark from something outside. Search teams immediately fanned out across the forest. What they found only deepened the mystery. Halfway between the abandoned car and the trailer, they found the skeletal remains of Jack Madruga and Bill Sterling. They had died of hypothermia on the long walk up the mountain. 2 miles from the trailer, they found the scattered bones of Jack Hoot, but Gary Mathias was completely gone. Gary was the only one of the 5 men who had served in the military. He was stationed in Germany with the US Army. He knew how to survive. He knew what a P38 military can opener was. Inside the trailer where Ted Weiher died, police found Gary Mathias's sneakers. Ted's heavy leather shoes were missing. The evidence suggests that Gary made it to the trailer. He opened the food, he watched his friend Ted die. And then, taking Ted's warmer shoes, Gary Mathias walked out the door and vanished into the wilderness. He has never been found. Almost 50 years later, the Yuba County Five remains a dark stain on American history. Why did Jack Madruga drive his beloved car up a dangerous mountain road? Family members swear that Jack hated the cold and would never let anyone else drive his car. Did Gary Mathias, the diagnosed schizophrenic, run out of his medication? Did he have a psychotic break, hallucinate a threat, and force his friends up the mountain in sheer panic? Or was there a real threat? Did the boys witness a crime in Chico? Were they chased by someone up that road? Remember the witness, Joseph Shons, who heard them go completely silent when he asked for help. Were they hiding from him, or were they hiding from someone else who was already in the dark? We may never know what truly happened on that freezing February night. 5 men walked into the woods, 4 came out in body bags. And 1 is still out there, somewhere in the unforgiving mountains of California. What do you think happened to the Yuba County Five? Let me know your theories in the comments below. And if you want to explore more unsolved mysteries, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what we uncover next.